Thanks. Not my first time.
You've got that whole like, I'm just like, wow. So what can I do? For example, as a proxy for people listening to this, my poo is fine once a day, medium brown color, not overly smelly, I think, but everyone likes the smell of the red poo apparently. But obviously I want to kind of maximize my performance and my focus. And actually one question we get so often from our audience is people struggling to focus. And I think often people are like, I struggle to focus with my schoolwork or with my whatever web design side hustle. I must have ADHD as like an immediate option, but I wonder if there's gut stuff we can do before we get to that point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, your gut health is, so because your gut is constantly communicating with your brain, again, if your gut is not happy, things are communicating differently, but also you could just not be producing enough serotonin for various different reasons, or your gut might not be sending the right signals up to your brain. So you might have, if we looked at your microbiome, and it's certainly not necessary to do that, we can do this in clinic without testing, but if we looked at your microbiome, we might find that you've just not got enough of these bacteria that are doing this particular important job with brain connection stuff. So what we would suggest then is to really optimize the gut. And you know what happens, Ali, as you know, is when people are busy and they're working too hard and they're doing a side hustle and everything else is high pressure, or they've got a family and everything else, people tend to make their diet quite small, not necessarily in terms of volume, but the types of foods that they're eating. So they might end up eating the same types of foods on repeat. What I see is people, there's kind of two camps here. The people who do like the meal prep stuff and they eat the same foods 5 days a week and they think they're being super healthy, eating sweet potato and broccoli every day. Or you have the people who are just living meal to meal, prep, itsu, wherever they're going every day, the same sorts of things, but just various different places and nothing's particularly planned or thought through. And inevitably, both of those ways of eating have an impact on your gut health, whether you feel it in your gut or not. So that way of eating limits the types of fibers that your gut bacteria are being fed. And the most important thing for your gut health is that you're eating 30 different plants a week. So trying to eat loads of variety of different types of plants. That includes fruit and veg, but also nuts and whole grains, different types of grains. We're super fixated in this country on like oats and wheat, but actually there's so many different types of grains that our gut really benefits from. So when you're busy and you're struggling and you're eating meal to meal or you're eating the same foods on repeat, what happens is your gut health, your gut sort of function might not change, but your gut health is inevitably not optimized. And that's when you can have these problems with lack of concentration, focus, energy, getting bugs all the time, that kind of stuff. And really interestingly, your gut bacteria communicate with your hypothalamus, so that bit of your brain that controls things like cortisol production. So really early in your life, your gut bacteria dictate where your sort of HPA axis is set, so how much cortisol you release under given circumstances. And we all need some cortisol, right? But we don't want loads and loads of cortisol because we've got loads of anxiety and stress all the time. We can really struggle to concentrate and to focus. So we can use our gut bacteria to try and reduce that and make things a little bit better in that department. We can use them and harness their powers to get more serotonin, which helps us with better sleep and concentration and focus and all those important things, those happy hormones. And we can also just try and calm down those messages from our gut to our brain, which are distracting our brain all the time. And your gut bacteria are going to be saying, we need more plants, and you're going to be not reading that properly and giving them more sushi, and that's not quite what they want.